All right, we're gonna do a full body workout, alternating lower and upper body. If you decide to do one round, it'll take about 15 minutes. Optional, you can do multiple rounds. So start off with a wall sit, set your timer for about a minute. Make sure your knees are at a 90-degree angle. If you can only hold it for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, fine. Stacking your ears over your shoulders, over your rib cage, over your hips. Push your lower back into the wall to activate your core. Focus on your breathing. Take expansive breaths, expanding the lung cage 360 degrees, especially towards the back. You should feel some heat in your legs. Continue to keep a nice stack with your ears over your shoulders. Make sure you are not shrugging. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears and set your gaze forward to keep a neutral neck. Continue expansive breaths. Once you finish your wall sit, your legs should feel nice and warm, possibly a little shaky. Go ahead, shake out your legs. We're gonna do a balance and a shoulder mobility warm up. So stand on one leg. You're gonna do Y, T, W, and L, standing on one leg. Make sure your core is engaged. Do another Y, T, W, and L. That raised knee should be at about a 90-degree angle. So one more set on this side. And then just one more Y, T, W, L. Just to kind of kick on some of your stabilizers that use to help you balance. Shake out your legs, grab your dumbbells, and we're gonna get into a double leg squat. You wanna go light on this one. We're gonna go for about 20 reps. Set your feet about hip width apart or a little wider. Knees and toes should point in the same direction. Just adjust your foot placement so that your hips feel comfortable, as well as your knees. If you can't go down very far, that's fine. If this is hurting your knee, just go ahead and hold an isometric hold, either against the wall or just hold at about a 90-degree angle where your knees and your hips are at the same level. Otherwise, go ahead and do about 20 of these, full range of motion, keeping your core locked in. Your collarbone should be pointing up sort of towards the wall meets the ceiling. Core locked in, expansive breaths. Do a nice little half a second pause at the bottom. Drive up through your heels. Do about 20 of these so you're nice and warm and your heart's beating a little faster, you're breathing a little harder. And then next set is going to be with heavier weight. Once you finish with this, go ahead and rest anywhere from 45 seconds to about a minute and a half. Now grab both dumbbells. This is going to be double the weight. And what we're going to do is we can have your dumbbells at your side or put it on your shoulders. We're gonna do a single leg squat. Beginners, stick to double leg for now. Otherwise, go ahead and put most of your weight on that working leg and just balance on the ball of your foot. As you progress, you can move from balancing on the ball of your foot just to your toe. We're gonna do 10 reps of this. Pause for half a second at the bottom, drive up from your heels, keep your core locked in. Core locked in means your lowest rib is drawing down towards your pelvis. Now I say 10 reps, but what I really want is for you to rep it out, high quality reps until you feel a burn, and then do about 3 to 5 more. Switching legs, keep that core locked in. One side might feel stronger and more mobile, like a bigger range of motion compared to another. That's fine, that's normal. Just take note of that as your baseline and we're gonna improve from there. So collarbone bones are pointed towards the wall where the wall meets the ceiling. Your core is locked in. You're keeping a neutral neck. You're spreading your toes out wide. Half a second pause at the bottom and squeeze at the top. Go ahead, do equal amount of reps on each side. or rep it out until it burns, plus an additional 3 to 5 more. So that should put you at about 10 to 15 reps per side. Go ahead, rest for about a minute and grab your resistance bands. The yellow band is going to be the easiest. Green is medium tension and blue is hard. Start off with the yellow band. What you're going to do is loop it around the base of your hands and your thumbs like so. And we're going to trap it right where our hands meet the countertop. The closer your feet are towards your counter, the easier it's going to be. Draw your core in. And you're going to go ahead and do a slow push-up. And then we're going to row on the left and row on the right, pulling those shoulder blades together. So push up and row, row. Your elbows are drawing towards the back of the room. Keep your core locked in. If you want to adjust your feet placement, if you're moving it further away from the counter, it's going to increase the intensity and the difficulty. What I want is a slow row. So right here, pause for a second at the top. Really engage those lats by squeezing the shoulder blades together and pulling the elbows towards the back of the room. Don't forget to keep your core locked in. We're going to aim to do about 10 of these. At the start, you might be able to do only 4. That's fine. If you can do 10, go ahead and push yourself to do a couple more reps with each follow-on set. Make sure to keep a neutral neck. So your eye gaze is going to be at the level that's just above your fingertips, and your ears, you want to line them up with where your shoulders are. And eventually what we're going to do is lower the height of our hand placement so that eventually we're going to be able to do a regular push-up off the floor with these rows. Aim for about 10 or as much as you can do. Go ahead and take a rest. Grab your bands. We're going to do some knee banded glute bridge with a weight. So put the lighter tension band above your knee and the heavier tension band below your knee. If this hurts your knee, you can go ahead and skip the bands. The bands are to create additional glute medius activation. So go ahead and lie down. If you need to use a mat, that's fine. You're going to place a dumbbell comfortably on each hip, feet spaced, hip width apart. Toes should be pointed mostly forward. If they point outward, that's fine too. These you're probably going to be able to do at least 20. So what I want is a 2-second pause at the top. You are using a glute squeeze to bring your pelvis from the floor towards the ceiling. Think about squeezing your glutes, keeping your core locked in, and we want to take our lower back out of the equation as much as possible. We are going to have to use a little bit of lower back, but you're going to use mostly your glutes to really draw your hips towards the ceiling. In the beginning, you're going to feel this in your entire legs and glutes. Over time, as you learn to activate your glutes, you're going to start to feel this mostly in your glutes, which is what we want. Keep that core locked in. Make sure you're bringing your shoulders away from your ears. We want to eliminate any unnecessary shoulder tension. Make sure you're doing a 2-second pause at the top. You're done, lower the weights on each side, swing to get up. Next, we're gonna do a seated shoulder press, overhead press. If this hurts your shoulders, go ahead and skip it. I'll show you an alternative. We're gonna alternate doing one arm at a time. Keep your core locked in. Legs are out in front of you to get a nice hamstring stretch and to force you to keep your core locked. I want your arms to line up to where your ears are. You can stay there. I'm just going to show you what it looks like from the side. So you're sort of pressing your head a little forward and your arms back so that your arms line up with your ears. Get a little bit of that rear deltoid activation. Aim for about 10 on each side. If you're not able to raise your arm above your head, I would recommend seeing a physical therapist or a doctor. Here is an alternative shoulder exercise that you can try. You will need a lighter dumbbell, say 3 or 5 pounds. You're just going to do a front raise so that your hands are in line with your shoulders. Bring it out to the side and then slowly lower down. So you're going to raise up, pause, out to the side, pause, and then lower. The reason why we're doing these shoulder exercises from a seated position is to isolate the upper body and force our core to work a little harder. Do about 10 of these, or as many as you can handle. You can stay right there. This is just what it looks like from the side. What you can do here is when you lift it, keep your wrists facing each other. This is a neutral grip, and it might be a little bit comfortable on your wrists, your elbows, as well as your shoulders. When you're bringing the dumbbells out to the sides, you want to think about a straight line from your shoulder through your elbow to your wrist. So you want your wrist to line up with your shoulder. Okay, so at this point we've done our squats, we've done our push-up and rows, we've done glute bridges, and we've done shoulders. If you have some time and extra energy, I would recommend finishing up this shoulder exercise and doing the cycle one more time. If not, we're gonna do 2 core exercises. This first one is a bird dog, so you're gonna get on all fours. Make sure you keep that core engaged. So you want the lowest rib to pull down towards your pelvis, hugging all the internal muscles so that you hug your spine. And opposite arm and opposite leg are going to extend. You're gonna pause right here at the top position for 1 or 2 seconds. Keep that core locked in tight the whole time. Make sure your gaze is just slightly above where your fingertips are to keep a neutral neck. You want to think about keeping a neutral spine the entire time, from your neck through your shoulders, through your lower back. And make sure to hold that position at the top for 2 seconds. Do about 10 on each side. And these bird dogs are great for neuromuscular coordination, meaning you're forcing your nerves, your brain, your muscular system to work together and to coordinate, which also helps decrease risk of injury. You should feel a nice heat and warmth throughout your entire body, particularly your core, which you should focus on keeping locked and loaded the entire time. So once you finish these, go ahead and take about a 30-second rest, flip over. We're just gonna do an isometric hold. Isometric means you're holding a single position without moving. These are called hollow body holds. Start off anywhere from 20 seconds to about a minute. I've made it to about 50 seconds here. So you're just gonna line up your arms with your ears, kick on that upper and lower abs, squeeze your glutes, and you're just gonna hold this as long as you can. Aim for 20 seconds, 30 is even better. We're shooting to progressively improve to where we can hold it for a minute. You can modify here. If you put your hands at your sides, it's gonna make it a little easier. Hands above your head, make the intensity higher. Once you finish your hollow body holds, you can do an additional round of core or an additional round of the entire workout. Good job. Cheers.